Hello, good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to all my fellow chartered accountants joining us today for day two of the ICI Global Week 2025. The theme for today's journey is African narratives. And trust me, this session is going to be nothing less than an eye opener into a continent full of opportunities, partnerships, and growth stories. Before we dive in, let me pause and congratulate each one of you. I know this is September time, and chartered accountants in India are totally buried in their ITR filings and tax audit deadlines. And still, you are here to attend this session, and that is really commendable for each one of us. And this really shows your interest that you are actually you really want to explore the new horizons and beyond the borders you want to go and achieve. So the spirit itself is shown that Indian CAs are not just compliance experts, but they are truly global professionals with a very great vision. And this ICI Global Week has been designed exactly with this thought. So finally, to handhold and support our members in identifying international opportunities to equip us for cross-border engagements, and help us navigate the future of our profession across continents. Yesterday we traveled through Asia. Yesterday we traveled through Asia, and today we take a leap into Africa, a totally different, territory altogether. The land of fastest growing economies, youthful energy, and untapped markets, where the skills of Indian chartered accountants are making a huge difference. So let us all fasten our seat belts because we are about to embark on a journey where professional excellence meets global possibilities. So to begin the session, I now invite CA Hansraj Chugh sir, who is the chairman of Board of Studies and is a member of DITS WTO Directorate, to give his opening remarks. He's a very intellectual personality. We all know him very well. So, sir, I invite you to tell us more about the initiatives taken by this directorate and what is more there in your magic box so we all can explore that. Please, sir, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Really been a proud moment for me, and it is the privilege and honor to extend a very warm welcome to the speakers of this session, Miss Patricia Stock. She is the CEO of the SICA, and then another gentleman with whom it happens. I'm lucky enough to have a number of years with him. He led the institution from the front, and naturally the support whatsoever I as a council member would have given me, that I tried to support him out when he was the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, CA Devasis Mitraji. The team around from the this group also, and this our directorate also, and each and every members from the nook and corner of the country, not limiting to within the country but beyond the custom frontier or beyond the frontier of this country. Even many of are joining from the overseas part also. Friends, this is the week-long program. Today is the day two, which with the theme navigating global opportunities. We understand with the professional minds are not limiting to the local area. It is not within the national area, but it is for the world, which bring out the change all across. Africa is a region where we understand with our professional, whether sitting there in the road, sitting there in that country, or from our within our country also, they are well supporting to grow with and naturally collaborating in the best of the manner. And today, fortunately, we have the distinguished thought leaders like Devasis Mitraji and the Miss Patricia Stock also, policy makers also around us, regulators and the professionals who deliberate and discuss in a different forum. And today's forum is also with that kind of forum where we have to evolve, we have to discuss dynamics of the trade, business, and the professional services in an increasing interconnected world. We all understand with in the dynamicity of the environment, mm, we all understand whether it is the knowledge sharing which matters, whether it is the collaboration within the institution or within the individuals also as a professional, that matters in the for the purpose of the growth. And collaboration is the only way by which we really get connected and we participate in the knowledge sharing also, and the future of whether any the services or the products, it's to the last person sitting in the all across the globe, that matters. And fortunately in ICI is proactive in understanding and collaborating with the different institution, and collaborating for the not limiting to one's own good but for the others good also, with those kind of understanding. And today's deliberation is focusing on the African narratives, and we all understand whether it is the digital innovation, all the four mode of services, whatsoever is available under the WTO schemes, whether by movement of the person, or by way of the technology, or by way of the establishment of the offices across, or other mode wherever one find fit into. All the modes are open for the services sectors, and wherever the Africa and India connects are there, I really appreciate. India has really brought a bigger change in the lives of the people there in the Africa, whether it is the emerging Africa market or the developed Africa market. So India is proactive. India always considered to be not limiting to own nation, but they want to serve to the globe also. India has a saying, ki, word is one, kutumb, the word is like a family. So with those kind of understanding, those kind of concepts, this institution also, I say also in the same methodology, has always been proactive to bring out many changes in the whole ecosystem of the financial and the accounting services. And wherever Indian go, they bring the prosperity and growth. This is a proven things from our Indian system, Indian philosophy, Indian system. Ki wherever Indian goes, more particularly those who are with the skill economy, skill-based economy, and wherever the things has to be brought in there, you will find many contributors from our country. I am confident our CA Devashish Mitraji, who will be also discussing and delivering a keynote address, and Madam Patricia Stocks, she will be giving us she will be, naturally, you yourself is a leader, and you have been instrumental in strengthening the profession and driving global collaboration. So we understand with your words will, for the our membership of our institute, will give a go a long way, and bringing up many things which are there in your minds, to reach out to them and ultimately to be acted upon, so that it goes to the results also. So we hopefully, uh, today's today's program, second day of this whole week program, will be a different in their manner. It will be a different for the opportunities to be brought in for the membership of the ICI, and same way for the growth of the African market also. So I'm confident this way this meaningful contribution for the regional growth and the development will happen with. With these words, I once again extend my warm welcome to all the participants, and wish you a enlightening and thought-provoking session, which will be taking shape up, or which will be ahead for each one of you. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thanks for the joining. Thank you. Divya?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful words. And you have set the tone for this session. And you have also actually told us what this ICI Global Week has been created with such a noble thought, that we do not engage only in our regular activities, but we have to now think out of the box. We have to reach out to the places where we have never thought of. And obviously, I don't know how many of you have ever thought of going to Africa and work. So it's not just about the job opportunities, but also the practice perspective that also we must look into. So I now invite our second speaker. Let me first introduce her to you. So here we have for the special address, Ms. Patricia Stock. She's the MOU partner for us. She's the CEO of the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants. Her previous experience includes being a co-founder and former CEO of NGI RAS, a member firm of NGI Worldwide. A chartered accountant, she's a chartered accountant from South Africa and chartered director of South Africa. She has held various senior executive and non-executive directorship roles, including working in the public and private sectors, advisory, skill development, and assurance, including auditing United Nations organizations during her tenure at the Auditor General of South Africa's office. She also serves as the head of the transformation DEI at a global firm. She is a certified ESG analyst with a specialization in governance, audit, and IFRS. She also holds a master's in international accounting. Ma'am, with great pleasure, we welcome you here on this platform, and we really like to understand because you have so much expertise. What all we can do in Africa. Just let us know that. Yeah, over to you. Yeah, we can see your screen. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for such a warm welcome. More importantly for me, for an opportunity to really actively collaborate in terms of how we can shape the future, not only of our profession, but of the countries that we're serving, but for a global impact that we have an opportunity to make. It's such a privilege and an honor to be here. And thank you to our professional friend, Mr. Debashni, for your leadership, your insights that you always bring. We're serving together in the board of Chartered Accountant Worldwide. Such a great honor to serve with you there in that body. And I really appreciate the opportunities that have been created here. I know I've got very limited time, and I would like to share some insights on how we can journey into the African narrative as you have themed it for today. And I appreciate the leadership of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for really seeing the value and opportunities that Africa has got to offer, because we are actually pregnant with so many opportunities, if I can use that analogy of pregnancy. So I want to actually theme the presentation. You can see I put IFAC logo there because I've also used the report that IFAC produced. We're looking at how can we as a profession be the drivers to sustainable transformation of Africa's economies. And I want to coin the presentation on the theme of accountants as a catalyst for Africa's sustainable transformation, how we can build resilient economies and societies. Before I start, let me reflect on a beautiful quote from one of our late singers, Miriam Makeba. If you don't know her, Google her, find the songs. She's such a beautiful singer. But the singer, she actually said that Africa has some mysteries, and even a wise man cannot understand them, but a wise man respects them. So I hope in my presentation you'll be able to find the mysteries that we have in terms of economic development opportunities. So before I start, I think it's important that we reflect on the characteristics of Africa's economy and with the balanced view, because that's important to also bring that balanced view. And I know a lot of us on this call, we're looking at that part at the bottom of opportunities. Where are the opportunities? Because that's how we operate as a profession, right? We're always seeking opportunities as well. But before I dive into this, I want to recognize India, what you have done in terms of, your contribution to South African economy. And we are a proud member of the BRICS, as you know. But in the early 2000 years, right? I can't remember the exact years when I was with the Auditor General. There was a time when the Auditor General was working on growing the number of professionals within their institute. And there was a partnership with India whereby there was a secondment of Indian accountants, chartered accountants for that matter, into the Auditor General's office. And today, the Auditor General is one of our largest, body training office member of SAICA with a good number of chartered accountants, in excess of 2,000 of chartered accountants. And that is really commendable that it was a journey of partnership. Yes, locally as an institute, we contributed, but having the right professionals, even within the institute, supported by India, it was truly, truly a remarkable journey. So I just thought to share those insights with you as well, just to show that partnerships, they truly bring about impact as long as we're intentional on what kind of impact we want to see. So back to the characteristics of the Africa's economy in its totality. When we look at Africa, we've got diverse and a growing economy, and there are specific sectors I want to highlight. The service sector, especially when we look at the banking services sector as an example, and the professional services sector. These are the sectors that continuously grow. Agriculture, as you know, Africa is rich as well, even with natural resources as well. These are the key sectors that are really thriving in Africa. When we look at our demographics and human capital, we've got a young population. Entrepreneurship is a key driver of the economy, but you will see later on where are the opportunities even in that area. But of course, we're not immune to challenges. I'm sure even I could add the geopolitical challenges because all of us are impacted by what's happening around us all over the world. We've got a lot of high reliance on commodities. We've got what we call the missing middle, especially when you look at the entrepreneurship, the SMPs. We do have a group that is underrepresented when we look at the medium-sized companies as well. And of course, with productivity, there are areas where we've got gaps, especially when you look at the manufacturing space. And when you look at the trade and investments, where there's a wonderful and beautiful opportunity, and I'm stating the African Continental Free Trade Area, not to say that it's only Africa that drives or can drive the free trade area, agreements in terms of us, how we can enable trade in the way that we can move with speed from a manufacturing or the full value chain as well in terms of the supply chain processes as well, because we do work with India as well. And in the intra-African investment is a large focus area as well in terms of what has been driven. We do have a resilient, economy. We do see resilience rather in the growth. And I'm quoting the report that was produced by the African Development Bank, where they state that Africa's economy is projected to increase from 3.3% growth in 2024 to 3.9% in 2025. So we're still expecting that, whereby we actually looking at projecting to reach 4% in the next year. And this is despite the mounting geopolitical uncertainties that all of us are not immune to, and the trade tensions that we're all experiencing, but we are seeing the resilience that is coming through. But when we look at it now, when we put it into pictures for those of you that are preferring to look at pictures. This is also an extract from the report that is titled Making Africa's Capital Work Better for Africa's Development. And it's such a great report if you like to deep dive into what are the opportunities that are there in Africa. You will see that there is a mix of growth patterns in different regions as well. But what stands out, you will see, is the Eastern Africa region, we see that in 2026 projected to reach the 5.9 growth, similar to 2025. And the countries that stand out is Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, Ethiopia, Niger, and Rwanda, that have seen growth rates that are even based on the reports that they're exceeding 7%. So these are just this kind of statistics to look at what are the trends that we're seeing coming through in Africa. And South Africa, as you know, it continues to develop as well. We do have opportunities as well in the manufacturing space, especially in the energy sector space, whereby we know that with the demand for energy, with the demand for sustainable solutions around the energy production as well, that there are opportunities for growth, even in the tech space, as organizations are evolving and moving towards having more digital solutions within their institutes. technology is a great opportunity, and I'm emphasizing that because I know India, you're really strong when it comes to technology. So there are lots of opportunities to partner. And one may ask, how do we as a profession enable access to these opportunities and the trades between our countries? Is really through these kind of partnership where we can they say, how do we then find access to key partners, especially when we want to drive the private partnerships as well. So which means that we have to work with business together with government to enable the partnership growth in terms of the trade areas. But I reflected on some of the opportunities and challenges, but I just want to deep dive a bit further in terms of looking at some of the issues and opportunities that are affecting the growth of the Africa economy. And this is also the source of these insights is coming from the report that was produced by IFEC as well. So that report was produced, by the committee that actually looks at the business aspect of our profession, and they met in Cape Town. And from the insights and the 2 day session, then they produced a report with great insights, and it was a multi jurisdictional input that was actually gained in that session. So you will see some of the opportunities are lying in climate change and sustainability. I spoke to the energy access, opportunities around the regional integration, and how do we as Africa drive the African continental free trade area, infrastructure investments, public sector financial management, entrepreneurial growth and SME support, tech and AI, and also the issue around the just transition as to how do we achieve that. So the key question is, and that's why I put all our logos there, that how can the global accounting profession partner for impact? And when I speak to some of these points, please think about it from a context of, but how can we partner as well for impact with the mutual benefit as well, as much as it's with the lens of driving the economic growth of Africa. First, we need to step up as change leaders in the profession. We can, and when I say we, not only as Africans, but even with the partnership of India, we can lead Africa's transformation by integrating sustainability in terms of what we are looking at, even in the investment opportunities that are there. So the key North Star, as reported by the African Development, is that Africa contributes to estimated 68 to 1.8 billion annually. But what we need there for the infrastructure development and to make sure that we've got climate resilience, we need increased contribution towards that. So there's a great need in terms of the estimation of how much funding is needed. And the question that you can ask yourself is, how can India be the source of capital allocation around the infrastructure projects, and obviously linking back to climate resilience? For example, in South Africa, we're looking at transition from, in the energy sector as well, to reduce the use of coal, as we're building more and more plants that are using, natural source of energy as well. We are seeing a mix of investors, for example, in South Africa, from different jurisdictions as well. But India is not really represented that much when it comes to the energy sector, and opportunities lie there. We can transform our role beyond compliance. We need to move beyond compliance by advising on complex sustainability issues such as climate change, and even issues of inequality and regional integration. And that speaks to how do we ensure that when it comes to what our governments and capital markets look at when they invest, that how are they integrating sustainability issues as well, but and also us as a profession, especially professional bodies, how do we ensure that we capacitate our members as well to be the key trusted advisors when it comes to advising on those complex sustainability issues. And again, I'll commend the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, for the work that you've done in the sustainability programs that you're already driving. So I say, well done. Continue to in the investment, track that you're in, because definitely there is a need as well. So what we see is that the key challenges for Africa's development, they can definitely be addressed by us as a profession as well, in collaboration with other professions, of course. I encourage you to align with Africa's Agenda 2023, 2060. Sorry, not 2063, 2063. Yes, it's changed to 2023. So invest in the support, of the projects that are aligned to Agenda 2063. This is driven by the African Union. And what will be the benefits of doing so? We can contribute to inclusive development. We can ensure there is regional integration right in Africa, but it also, multi-jurisdictional integration as well. I spoke to the digital transformation that no region is immune from. And even in Africa, there is a great need to invest in that. So there, I want to actually emphasize, double click, bold, or whatever it is, highlight the part of digital transformation, because as India, you already have the strength in that area, and you can surely become a suitable partner for Africa. And of course, climate resilience as well, it's a key focus area. Mobilize sustainable financing, leverage diverse expertise to access funding sources, including blended finance arrangements that we can drive to address Africa's infrastructure financing gap. We can be part of mitigating climate risks as well. What we are seeing that we are seeing that in Africa, based on the study that was done, is that 68% of emissions are said to be concentrated in the four countries in Africa: South Africa, Egypt, Algeria, and Nigeria. So obviously, for us to address the growing significant economic challenges, we need to ensure that even the climate risk, when we address it with the balance as well. For example, it's not easy to just move from, for example, I spoke about use of coal in South Africa as part of our energy source. We need to consider the just transition. How do we ensure that as we move to other sources of energy, as an example, that, for example, that the issue around employment, those that are in the sector, that we do address that, in concurrent as well. For example, how do we grow the manufacturing side of things, to produce, alternative source of energy as well. So those are the things that we need to bring, the balance in terms of ensuring just transition as well. As a profession, we need to facilitate public-private partnerships, and this we can foster, through innovative ways. Like I said earlier on, make sure that whatever you drive, do it together with government, together with business as well. And this can improve as well, the extent of bankable project as well, and reduce financing risk as well. We need to be ahead in terms of how do we ensure that, especially from impact investing, that as a profession, we are the key drivers as well. And the enabling of regional trade expansions, we can support our clients in navigating African continental free trade areas. What I mean by that, yes, India, you could be subject matter in one area. Understanding what are the key focus areas in Africa around the African free continental trade area, you can still become a partner as well, just bringing and leveraging on your strength as well. So it's important to understand what is happening in that space and how you can enable the success of what is the North Star around the African free continental trade area. And this can help us to contribute to the increase in Africa's exports by 32% is projected to get to that point by 2035. And obviously we can drive economic integration in collaboration as well. Champion and advocate for transparency, and this is through sustainability reporting. As I said, you're already doing the work in the space in terms of ensuring that we can be the key drivers of sustainability, disclosures that enable access to capital market as well, and embed sustainability standards. This can help businesses to integrate with impact and for purpose as well, to ensure that we can have consistent, comparable, and transparent reporting on sustainability impacts as well. Why is this important? Everything else that I spoke about earlier on, especially around impact investing, enabling access to capital markets, it requires us to ensure that we do things in collaboration. For example, whatever we're driving from standards adoption around sustainability in the Africa region, in India, if we can find ways to be consistent, it enables the trades to be much more easier, because we've got the common set of standards that we're using to measure performance on non-financial information. We can drive energy transformation and transition. This obviously is a challenge to us as a profession to say, how do we transition to a more sector-specific approach, especially in the energy sector, because Africa is looking at growing the development in that area. I mean, we've got over 600 million people that lack electricity and access to electricity, and the demand is projected to double by 2040. So obviously the development needs to move in line or even ahead of the demand that we project to find in the future. So we can enable clean energy and just transition in Africa in collaboration through the partnerships and trades that we can enable as well. Leverage on technology for impact, utilize technology solutions such as for example, in South Africa, we're looking at how we can, grow the green finance products in blockchain, for example, as India again, as thought leaders, as leading in this space as well, you can be the key partner so that we can enhance transparency and drive efficiencies across business operations as well. And the standardization of sustainable finance, as I said, important to make sure that we've got common standards. But now, again, when it comes to taxonomies, we need to ensure that at least there is that alignment as well in terms of what do we build into the taxonomies of various countries. In South Africa, we already have, the green finance taxonomy in this space as well. We can see how do we collaborate and align in terms of what we have in this space. And my presentation will not be complete if I don't talk about the youth. Africa, in fact, even South Africa as well, we're rich in terms of, the population that has got the largest representation of the youth. Investing in youth employment, it will be very, very key, not only now, but also into the future. This is in recognition of the fact that we are projected to have 40% of the global youth population being represented by Africans by 2030. That's a significant number that actually calls for investment in terms of ensuring that there are opportunities for the youth in terms of empowering the youth. So should you have projects where you know that you need additional capacity, I'm inviting you to look as well into Africa in terms of how we can partner for impact as well in Africa. Enhance public financial management. There is no public sector, or rather private sector, that can thrive without a thriving public sector. That's very, very key for us to ensure that we can strengthen public sector financial management by adopting the accrual-based accounting, in various jurisdictions. And what we know is that in Africa, I'm also a board member of the Pan-African Federation of Accountants. We know there is a great need for a number of jurisdictions to move towards accrual base of accounting. Should you have capacity, that's an area that you can look at as well in terms of how you can support other jurisdictions to grow in terms of their financial discipline and professionalization of their public sector as well. And this, for the African benefit as well, it can help to combat the debt issues, because Africa, when we look at the sovereign debt, is very high as well. And there's a lot of revenue leakages as well. And obviously, if once we address that, the economic development as well will come, because there will be more capital, to allocate towards, for example, infrastructure development that are also put forward as one of the key challenges as well. The support for SMME growth, it's very, very key as well. This will aid in accessing finance and integrating into regional value chains, particularly in the sectors like raw materials and green industries that supports the energy sector as well. We need to elevate ESG practices, guiding our clients in terms of how they can embed comprehensive ESG strategies will help us to meet the global sustainability standards that I spoke to as well. And let's make sure that whatever we do as a profession, we can overcome regulatory barriers as well, because we know fragmentation in regulations is one of the key hindrances in terms of enabling the intercontinental trades that we want to ensure that we can grow as well. And as a profession, we have the opportunity to influence that, especially around the tax regimes that we have in various jurisdictions as well. And this can help us to maximize the free trade, continental trades agreements that are currently available. Let us look at how we can forge strategic partnerships. Let us build cross-border partnerships that foster innovation. And that's why the MOUs that we have in place, especially around the mutual recognitions. We advocating for growth in that, as IFEC, as PAFA, as CAW, we're working towards how we can ensure that we've got more and more mutual recognitions. Because once we get those in place, not only as a profession as well, because we need to also, improve our capabilities as a profession across, we can find ways to accelerate, because if India has cracked the solution in one area, or you've found ways to develop and fast track the growth of our members, we as South Africa can adopt the same. And similar to when South Africa has cracked one area, we can also find ways to can mutually exchange our learnings as well. Obviously, to achieve that, we need to build internal capacities across, whether as an institute or as various organizations that we are driving. So my call as I close as well, my last point is that let us lead the call to action. Let us inspire Africa and India collaboration and ensure that we can move forward with collective action to create a resilient and inclusive, sustainable Africa. And in so doing, we know that the world as well, globally, we all win, in terms of how we can ensure that we've got a sustainable future for generation to come as well. Let us position ourselves as a profession as well, and even the firms that are our members as well as key enablers of the needed transformation. And we can achieve this through mutual recognition agreements as well. I thank you for this opportunity to share.
Wonderful presentation. You have actually detailed each and everything, each and every aspect, where all we can enter, where all our expertise is. We all can step into, we can choose those platforms and we can, excel in the fields there itself. So you have already stated the statistics, which shows that, yeah, it's a growing sector in Africa. And then again, you have shown that we can enter into the climatic change things. We can give our sustainable finance. If we want our investors, I mean whatever clients we have here, we can ask them to invest in Africa also. That could be a very good perspective. We might not have thought that of earlier, but that is very very thankful. We are all thankful to you for sharing such a deep dive thing for all of us. And you have already made a call for all of us to action with this pinpointed format of yours. So thank you so much, Patricia, for sharing this. Next, I invite Debashish sir. Who doesn't know Debashish sir? He actually was the past president. We all know him very well. Very, very intellectual person. And at his time of leadership, there were many MOUs and MRAs framed. So I just wanted to say this, that during the leadership of Mitra sir, who is a very visionary person, and he also believes that chartered accountants must not be financial professionals only, and they should also participate in the nation building, and they should become, in fact, the global leaders. And during his presidency, he made significant strides in strengthening its international footprint, especially through MOUs with accounting bodies worldwide, promoting technology adoption and enhancing capacity building for our members. His deep knowledge, combined with his constant encouragement to embrace new opportunities, makes him the perfect voice to guide us in this journey of exploring Africa. Under his leadership, ICAI has expanded its global collaboration, reminding us that the world is in need of our workplace. Sir, it's an honor to have you with us today. And now I invite you to share your thoughts with our audience who are eager to learn and explore, expand their horizons with your thoughts, sir.
Thank you very much, Divya. And good afternoon, everybody, especially Patricia. And Patricia, that was such a fine presentation. It was a presentation which covered so many areas which are relevant for the profession. Before I start off, two things. Divya, Patricia represents 1 out of every 3 chartered accountant in India. 1 out of every 3 chartered accountant in India is a lady chartered accountant. So we are so proud, and Patricia, I'm sure you'll be very happy to note that. And you are also talking about youth. So she also represents, the younger brand of chartered, younger group or batch of chartered accountants that we have today. I'm speaking from Patricia, you may or may not know, I'm speaking from a place called Calcutta. And in Calcutta today, it is a festive atmosphere. We are having the Durga Puja here, which is a UNESCO heritage event. The whole city, the whole state is out on the streets, you see, enjoying this huge festivity, to celebrate Goddess Shakti, or the goddess of strength, the Ma Durga. So, with these words, let me start off. You see, the Institute of Chartered Accountants has a great and a great legacy of having a relationship with Africa. In 2022, we had the World Congress of Accountants, and Patricia will recall. And you see, in the World Congress of Accountants, 2,000 delegates physically they came from Africa. Sorry, 2,000 delegates were foreign delegates, out of which 900 were from Africa. It was such a great sight seeing so many delegates from Africa, you see, moving about, you see, in the World Congress. And then subsequent to the World Congress, PAFA had its own conference in Ivory Coast. And at the request of PAFA, those of us who are aware or not aware, PAFA means the Pan-African Federation of Accountants. It is an umbrella body of more than 50 chartered accountants, institutes. At the request of PAFA, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India went ahead and became one of the main sponsors of the PAFA conference way back in 2023. You see, this is the kind of history that we have with Africa. And, when we did that, we only saw smiling faces around and everybody thanking us for having supported PAFA. So the institute is as its program or as its objective of having a global outreach always considers Africa to be a special place to be in. Now, having talked about World Congress and the kind of relationship that we have developed and the global footprints of the institute into Africa, let me just take up some of the points that Patricia had raised. She was, first of all, speaking about ESG, environment, social, and governance. At the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and even at the national level, we believe that these three words are so very important. The Institute has been one of the first to set up a Sustainability Reporting Standards Board. In 2020, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India set up the Sustainability Reporting Standards Board. And since then, this board has been doing so much work to ensure that the sustainability aspect is given due fillip. And so good has been the contribution of the institute that you see in the International Investor Forum, you see the UNCTAD, UNCTAD, recognized the institute's contribution in sustainability in Abu Dhabi way back in 2023. So we are doing everything that we can, as long as ESG is concerned. And let me tell you, you are also aware, Patricia, that we had hosted the G20. And at that time also, environment was such a very important area on which the government of India had laid stress on. Now, let me also tell you, you also spoke about, the regulatory side of ESG. In India, 1,000 top listed companies, they have to, report on something called BRSR, Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting. Now, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, has this course in which they get the members, the chartered accountants, ready to report on BRSR. So, and BRSR is a list of about 140 questions. They do talk about environment, the governance, the social side of things. And India, I believe, is a leader in this. And these BRSR questions have been developed by SEBI. And if you are a listed company, the top 1,000 you have to report. So you see, in India, the chartered accountants, you see, they have to get themselves acclimatized to what is happening on ESG front. You also spoke on digitalization. And you see, we have the AI India mission. Government of India, you see, has kept aside 10,000 crores for you see, development of AI, but at the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, the Committee on AI, is doing so much. They have this certificate course on AI, 3-day certificate course. And as and when these courses are announced, they sell like hotcakes. Now, what this committee has done is they have got two publications out. One is Ethics in AI, an area which many of us tend to ignore, but which the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India feels is very, very important. And they have got this Ethics in AI, this book. And then a very important area, which is also, I'm sure, in Africa, is a matter of great debate and discussion, that is data privacy. And this committee has also got a publication out on data privacy in AI. And then what is also happening is the third publication this committee is coming out is the impact of AI on Indian economy. And the institute is just giving a nudge to its professionals, to the chartered accountants, that now is the time that you move and you shift towards AI. And that you see, the AI is here to stay. It is not going to take away your work. It is basically to assist you. That is the viewpoint of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, that we must embrace AI and take full advantage of artificial intelligence so as to enhance our professional capabilities and abilities. Now, having spoken on these two, let me also tell you that there are two other topics which are going to be discussed today. One is the forensic standards, and the other is GCCs. Now, forensic standards in India, and I'm sure, Patricia, in Africa also, there must be this belief that in the future, fraud catching would be a very important area. It already is an important area today. Fraud catching is already a very important area today. Now, what has happened in India is you see, we have a definition of fraud in our auditing standards. I'm sure, you see, you and I, we both know the definition of fraud that is contained in ISO 240. But in India, in the Companies Act, they have decided to, there's a section called Section 447 in the Companies Act, where they have defined fraud. And the auditors, since Patricia, you are good in audit, the auditors are penalized quite substantially if you fail to report fraud. Fraud in our audit report. So even though reasonable assurance is still there, but fraud reporting has become such an important area in the professional milieu that a chartered accountant finds himself. So, keeping that in mind, the institute has developed these forensic standards. And let me tell you, we believe that we are one of the first to have developed this. We are popularizing these standards amongst our membership. We are taking these standards to the government of India and telling them that, look, if you at all want any kind of training from us on these standards, we are always there. We are always there. And let me tell you, we take pride in a statement given by one of our very illustrious past presidents of the country, APJ Abdul Kalam, who had said that the profession, that is the chartered accountants, are partners in nation building. And we take these words very, very seriously. We take these words very, very seriously. Now, what is also happening in India, and to those of us who are listening to me, who are in Africa, who are listening to me, is, they are also talking about aggregation of firms. That is, Patricia just now spoke about small firms. They are not saying that, look, can we build 10 big Indian firms? What it takes to do so. Now, the government of India, they have developed a questionnaire asking us questions about our views on how to develop these 10 big firms. The last date of giving comments on the questionnaire was today, that is 30th of September. And there is a serious discussion taking place about how to create these big firms. And at the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, under the leadership of our president, Charanjit Singh Nandaji, we are doing everything possible to see how these firms can be aggregated, because a challenge that we face is maybe about more than 60% of the firms in India are small and medium practitioners. So we are also trying our best to see how best we can, aggregate, encourage these firms to aggregate. The networking guidelines have been developed by the institute so as to see that how can these firms may be encouraged to network with each other, so that the size of the firm, so that the firms can take benefit of size. So that is what is happening on this. The last is the GCC, the Global Capability Centers. India is a hub as long as GCC is concerned. Um, Abhay Hajar will correct. He is, I believe, a speaker on GCC today. He will correct me if I am wrong. There are more than 70 GCCs in India which employ more than 5,000 people. And there must be about 1,700 GCCs in India. So what the institute is doing is popularizing popularizing how the chartered accountants can play a role in development, in furthering the cause of these GCCs. These GCCs, when they were put up in India, it was basically because of cost arbitrage. Because, see, they felt that the labor cost in India is less. So if you have, and they were basically back offices, right? And today what has happened is these GCCs, they are taking part in innovation, they are taking part in research, and the government of India is encouraging the formation of these GCCs. So India is changing, and changing very fast. We both see, you just said that we are all part of BRICS, right? So India is changing very fast. India is the fourth largest economy in the world, and the economy is going so fast, right? So see, and then our GDP growth is more than 6%. So we are the country as a whole is doing very well. But you see, the goal is to be a Viksit Bharat in 2047. And the goal is also to collaborate with Africa. Because India, over the period of time, has always treated Africa as one of it, that whole part of Africa as one of its great friends, right? So see, the country is doing everything possible. And the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Patricia, as I said, we both, by the way, sit in the board of Chartered Accountants Worldwide. Chuksa has been a technical advisor, is also in the Chartered Accountants Worldwide. And as I have stated in the meetings of Chartered Accountants Worldwide, that the country is that's India, and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. We are doing everything possible to help the country grow. And the institute is, as we all know, is the largest accounting body in the world. It has about 10 lakh students and about 5 lakh members. And as I have, and I repeat myself when I say that, you see, we are proud to say that 1 out of every 3 chartered accountant is a lady. And this is just, to note that how diversified the institute is. And the institute is growing very, very fast, keeping pace with time. I know there are other speakers, so I will not say much except to say, using a word that Patricia is used, mysteries of Africa. Today, let us unravel the mysteries of Africa, the great part of this world, unravel the mysteries of Africa together. And again, using a slide that Patricia has used, let us join hands, collaborate, and see, help each other, and in the process convert every challenge into an opportunity and attain success and build goodwill between these two great parts of the world. Thank you very much for having invited me here, and I wish the later part of the this program great success. Thank you very much.
You, sir, due to the paucity of time, I think you could not, you have so much to share actually. And it's so energetic to see you and hear you. And it's really a pleasure for all of us to, get these insightful words directly from you, sir. Your vision and guidance has always reminded us that being a chartered accountant is not just about the numbers, but it's about creating impact, not only locally, but also globally. So you have also told us that CA Institute has already set a platform. It's all there. Whatever skills you want to develop, you can have it right there, because we do not have to go anywhere else to get these certificate courses and other things. I mean, for the digitization, BRSR, whatever you name it, and we have it here in the CA Institute itself. So if we are equipped enough with knowledge which is given by the institute, and time to time, we are upgrading ourselves with these seminars and all, we can obviously showcase to the world that yeah, we are good leaders as well. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, sir. Now we have our speaker with us, ca Adi Narayan Balcha. He's the chairperson of ICI Uganda chapter. Thank you so much for joining the session, sir. Let me just quickly introduce you. Just a second, sir. Yeah, so he is the chairman of Uganda Kampala chapter. He is right now working as a director in many companies. He's also the director of Uganda Manufacturers Association. So we will have an insight about the industry part also, how anyone can set up an industry there, what kind of industries are evolving in Africa. We can have a view of that also. He has also served as an executive committee member for the Indian Business Forum in Uganda. So over to you, sir. We would like to hear more from the point of view of the businessmen, so that we can even guide our clients and the industrialists here to invest in Uganda or anywhere in Africa. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, madam. It was very nice listening to our CA Debashish Mitraji. It was a quite long time I heard to him. Thank you for your insight, sir, and thank you for the update on the developments ICA is bringing to the members. Pleasant good afternoon from the Pearl of Africa, Uganda. I hope all of you had a very good lunch today. It was very toughest and dangerous time given to me as a speaker, because just after lunch, it is very tough for me to enable all the audience to keep on the board. As chart accountants, we always like challenges. I hope I'll be successful in today's session. Indians are always good at finding the best ways to complete the task in the shortest time. I follow the same. With all due respect, all protocols observed, let us continue the topic. Good afternoon once again and welcome you all. Exploring opportunities in developed Africa. This is a topic given to me. First, I would like to start saying that perception is always key to understand and explore. We all know the theory of half glass water. Some understands it as half glass full of water, and some take it as half glass empty. But both are right. In the same way, many see Africa as not developed, but few see it as an opportunity for the development and opportunity to grow extraordinarily. And we are the live examples who are settled in Africa. We as chartered accountants, we love numbers. So just let me share the numbers to make understand what we talk. Africa is having a population of 1.6 billion people, which is almost 18% of the total world population. To make it more clear and easy to understand, it is slightly more than India and China. The population of Africa is on a higher side. Africa has a gold mine spread all over the countries of Africa. The reason behind this, the strength of Africa is 70% of its population is under 30 years. And the young generation here has no guided limits to have the children like one or none, और हमने बोलता था हम दो और हमारे दो. ऐसा कुछ कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है अफ्रीका में. ये पीपल वेल्थ इज कंसिडर्ड एज देयर चिल्ड्रन. So resulting the population growing by 2.5%, which is 3 times more than the global average, leaving it more advantageous for all kind of opportunities in Africa, even in the future. About Uganda, opportunities in the service industry, let me talk about that. In this era of artificial intelligence, like our past president sir has explained us now, there's a huge opportunity non-tapped till now. All the business houses in Uganda always prefer Indian accountants, as every country prioritizes the local resources. For instance, in Uganda, work permit costs to 2,50,000 rupees per annum if I have to recruit an expatriate from India, which is considered a considerable share of a salary paid to the employee here. If the chartered accountant from India can provide the online accounting services, it reduces a lot of cost on the local business, and you can also get the best opportunities. The Indian chartered accountants can provide below services in Africa through using AI and online services. We used to have here the monthly returns, annual returns for every company, various kind of returns which have to file as a business entity. That services can be provided, which is largely outsourced by the companies in Uganda. Can also provide the management consultancies, cost benefit analysis, costing services for all the small and medium-sized business enterprises who cannot afford to have the complete chartered accountant as an employee. And lot of accounting services I see has been outsourcing to India nowadays. Internal audit services and forensic audit services, all such kind of audit services can be provided to the companies here through our offices in India. Any interested member to have such kind of services can liaise with the local local practicing chartered accountants and can work together with them. To establish practice in Uganda, anyone who is interested in establishing the practice is very easy to incorporate it here. The registration work and the legal framework can be finished within 3 to 4 days. Only the pre-qualification required is should have a membership registered from the ICPAU, which is also called as the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda. And as a requisite, we are supposed to clear only couple of papers, and the rest of all the papers have been exempted. Only a couple of papers need to be appeared and clear them. But regardless, other options available, they can get a local CPA and make him as a partner and then register a firm and continue the business. And during the course of time, the practicing member can clear the exams. Regarding the business opportunities in Africa, where I am more concerned here is this is era of startups and investments. To have a brief understanding about the strength of Ugandan economy and the influence of Indian accountants, let me explain you few numbers. To start with our numbers, India achieved a GDP of almost 7%, which we all are happy about, whereas we have crossed China, which is 4.7%, and our presumed big brother nation, which is doing at 1.48%. And with this tariff war, which is expected to collapse more. But my Karma Bhumi, Uganda, has achieved 6.8% competing with India. Understand the growth of Africa with these numbers. It also happened at a time in this era when Europe is flirting with the recession, when China is struggling with the weight of its debt burden, when USA is passionate about its tariff, Uganda is silently performing like a CS student without any commotion. I hope all of you remember how serious we all are when we are pursuing the exams. At the same time, no commotion, only focus, silence, but achieving the targets. The same way Africa is performing here. I can also say that just 200 members of our family is the backbone of Uganda. Just 200 members. Let me explain you why. Indians contribute 60%. Only Indian community contribute 60% of the taxes collected by the Uganda Revenue Authority. Imagine our population is less than 0.25% of Ugandan population, yet we contribute 60% of the total taxes collected by the Uganda Revenue Authority. And this 60% comes from majorly 200 companies exist in Uganda, which is also said as led by 200 chartered accountants, captained by 200 chartered accountants. I'm very proud to be a chartered accountant and privileged to be one of those 200 members who contribute substantially to the growth of Ugandan economy. This explains you the volume of business run by Indians in Uganda and led by chartered accountants in Uganda. See the strength of the Indian chartered accountant community. And the Indians reached Uganda during the colonial rule as laborers to lay the railway track. And our journey started like 200 years ago, and we are continuing and became a strong shareholder in growth of Uganda. For any economy, currency is a strong indicator of an economic growth. In the recent last quarter considered, we have experienced all the major currencies as losing to the US dollar. But whereas Ugandan shilling is strengthening to US dollar, not by half a percent, not by 1%, but the tune of 5.7% just alone in the last quarter. Uganda shilling has appreciated from 3,700 Uganda shillings per dollar to 3,500 Uganda shillings per dollar. So this shows you how strong is our economy irrespective of global economic disorder. And this is not first time, this is third time we are experiencing the same, because during the global recession, Uganda has continued to grow. During the COVID recession, Uganda has continued to grow. And now in the third phase, we are continuing to grow. The only reason is there could be up and down in the software, in the technology boom. One goes out, one comes in. There could be another disadvantage in another industry which can cause damage to the economy. But whatever happens, agricultural economy can never fail. Whatever happens, the food supply can never fail. So that is the only reason why Uganda is growing consistently, lack of, irrespective of any major global damage. As the main topic is business opportunities in Uganda, we chart accountants are always considered as powerhouses. You have many clients who will be interested to invest in, who will be interested to diversify, or who is interested to the vertical integration with the existing business or to diversify into other areas. You can be a consultant to those investors, or yourself, if you are an entrepreneur, can start the journey in Africa. India has 100 unicorns, but Africa has the scope to start those 100 unicorns here with the youth present here. The legal framework and the necessity documentation for any kind of business except in the mining, the most of the African countries, including Uganda, can complete the legal requirements within 6 to 5 working days. That is the most ease of doing business in Africa. And Uganda also provides these services from Uganda Investment Authority. Anybody can Google it, Uganda Investment Authority, which they have one-stop solution for all kind of necessary documentation, necessary licenses provided from one platform. And they also provide the list of the opportunities with the complete business profile, the amount of investment required, the rate of return. All this information is provided to all the investors. When we assess the industry-wise options available, with the experience we have in Uganda from the last 15 years, I have shortlisted 4 industries here. The first best industry is agro-processing. As I have told you before, any industry has ups and downs, but agro-processing has never. Agriculture, which is a wonderful opportunity here. For any agricultural project, the most important input is only 2 things: fertile land and labor. And Uganda has the most fertile land and still unused, untapped, and also most affordable hardworking labor, which is very tough to get in other part of the world. Coming to the crops, coffee, cocoa, cashew nuts, lentils, maize, rice, and many other crops are grown here. So as we are chartered accountants, as auditors for our existing clientele, who has any vertical lines can integrate with these things here which can have a great opportunity for them. And as a service provider, you will also be benefited from this transaction. Uganda is the only country, because of its geographical location and climatic conditions, many crops are grown for almost throughout the year with the natural water resources. Commercial crops has huge demand, and we see so many Europeans, so many Americans come here and do the farming. And agro commodity value addition products like manufacturing of essential oils from the agricultural crop is a huge platform here. And we see a lot of flower farms which extract the essence from the flowers and export to Europe. All kind of such exports beautifully can be done here, and the government also provides you with 10-year tax benefit, zero income tax, whoever is exporting more than 80% of their produce to the rest of the world. So that is a beautiful option can be availed. And financing also, okay, Ugandan cost of financing is a bit high, but if they have their financing options from abroad, which is bit cheaper, still can be accessible to the proper channels. And Ugandan government also provides finance at a 12 to 14% subsidized cost for all kind of these agricultural projects. Coming to the mining, there is a whole lot of rare earth metals, timbers, which a lot of portion is still untapped. There's a lot of minerals like steel, cobalt, and many other minerals which can be extracted and added value even before exporting. Most of the all African countries and all the governments of the African countries are welcoming investors with a red carpet, with all kind of tax haven, with all kind of facilities, free land provided, facilitating all possible perks to the companies who wish to explore in value addition of any mineral kind of stuff. Coming to the manufacturing, Uganda and East African countries are taking path of China in concept of manufacturing, because as of today, Uganda and East Africa still imports a large share of their FMCG. It was a big problem before for the manufacturing, and the governments understood here the market size is a problem. To solve the problem, recently from the last couple of years, now we have formed a community called East African Community, where you have the countries like Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Congo, Sudan. All these countries has formed as one nation now, and other countries are also joining to form as one Africa, one nation, one tax. Meaning, you can produce anywhere in Africa and access any markets in Africa without any tax. This is in a process, but as a first step, East Africa is already in practice. Any product produced in Uganda can be exported to Kenya, Congo, Rwanda, Tanzania, Burundi without any import duty. So this has given access to a lot of markets to the Ugandan products. Coming to the options available in the technology, there are many kind of innovations coming up in Uganda, and in the health sector, in the technology, in the logistics sector, there's a lot of innovations coming in. And in the interest of the time, the biggest one I would like to give an example to you, to all the members. It's not an irony. It's not an irony, but all of you, or at least most of you, are using the technology which is born in Africa. You can imagine so advanced technology in India, USA, UK, Africa exported a technology which is used in India, and can't imagine a life, a day without the technology. And this is the payment transfers linked to the mobile number. Now, anybody can imagine a day in India without using a GPay or without using the scan or pay, anything like that. But I joined Uganda in 2009. That is 15 years backward. In the backward, when I entered Africa, Africa has already had a payment system using the mobile number, but not linked to the banks. But using the mobile number, somebody can transfer the money, somebody can hold the money attached to their mobile number. We always say necessity is mother of invention. That time Africa doesn't have well established network with the banks. So there is a necessity for the monetary transactions, and mobile companies tap that opportunity of payments through mobile number, which is a great innovation, and now which has become uh, a root cause for evolution of this UPI in India. When Airtel acquired the Celtel in Africa, they used the same technology and introduced in India, and later many developments raised on the basis of this, and today UPI has evolved. I'm happy to share that India has developed the most advanced system with the UPI, which whole world is looking at us, and happy to say that last month UPI crossed 20 billion transactions and a total value more than 24 lakh rupees, and it's a world record. These kind of developments are also possible in Africa, and the base of this UPI was in Africa like 15 to 20 years before. And in the similar way, there are many other developments in the health sector is born in Africa. Coming to the technology set, the other part of the technology is the BPO. The Ugandan working timings, if you see in Uganda, 2 o'clock is USA 3 o'clock. With the recent developments in USA India conflict, there is a possibility of BPO sector coming to Uganda, and there are big players and the new entrants are coming to Uganda who is accessing the opportunities in BPO sector, supporting the US and supporting even now the Indian companies to have a affordable cost of labor. At this era, everybody is looking at cost cutting. So the cost cutting, and with this AI technology, boundaries are not there. Whole world is single boundary. So with this kind of developments, people can use the services from the Uganda at most affordable prices. The next sector is education and health sector. There is a huge gap between demand and supply in the education sector and in the health sector. And still, good education is way expensive than USA, than UK, than India is Africa, because the options available is very few, and the demand is much more. So any interested chartered accountant who has a client, or any entrepreneur who is interested to bring any kind of branded education from India to Africa will have a lot of good scope, because still students are traveling from Africa to India, to UK, to Europe to have good education there, even at the schooling level, not at the university level I'm talking about, even at the schooling level. So these two sectors, there's a lot of space in these two industries. And the most advanced and the most interesting industry is fintech. The whole businesses are around the finance. Uganda is advancing in the fintech products with a very high speed, with a very good rate of returns. Just to have an example, the cost of finance in these kind of fintech companies, like a salary loans, like a small finance, and cost of these people is like 2 to 5% per month, where the cost of the finance in India is less than 1% a month. Here, people are paying 2 to 5% a month, which is the huge cost for any kind of business here. But still, businesses are flourishing with this kind of the finance cost. So imagine if some company can come as a fintech company and provide better financial solutions to the companies here or to the public here, it will be mutual beneficial to our economy and to the investors here. We as Uganda chapter will be more than happy to assist any of our member either to join Uganda as an employee, or to establish a practicing firm, or someone to start a business here. We can provide any kind of assistance to you. We as a Uganda chapter, we are very small chapter with 150 200 members plus, but still very influenced chapter and very vibrant chapter. We can provide any kind of assistance to any of our member in any kind of field they are interested to join us. Over to you, madam. I hope I have not taken much of your time.
In fact, we would like to hear more from you, sir. So that was, very short and crisp. You have covered each and every aspect, whether it's for any industry or we want to set up any practice there. How is the life there? How is the technology there? You have covered each and everything. So I think questions, if any, we will take up at the end. But in fact, from my side, I am curious enough to know how what kind of activities are done at the Uganda chapter for the CAs who are present there.
Okay. I'll be more happy and proud to share those things
Your voice is breaking, sir. Your voice is breaking.
because Uganda chapter has achieved. Yeah, I'm audible now.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll be very proud. I'll be very proud and happy to share that because under our committee's timelines, we have achieved to have an examination center in Uganda for the ICA students, and that is the first in Africa and number seventh in the whole world. So we are very happy to share that news with you. And number two, we have also initiated when Atul Premji was the president of ICI. We Uganda chapter has initiated discussions with the ICI India to have one department which caters not only the members in service industry but also the members in the business industry. And I am very happy to say that the Ministry of External Affairs of India has recognized the ICA chapters overseas to be like second to the our High Commissioner offices. They cannot issue the passports, but they are ready. Uh, they are but I mean to say they are authorized to do the other transactions which is done by the embassies in terms of the business coordination with the Ministry of External Affairs, communications, and all these things. We got the clearance from the Ministry of External Affairs India, but yet it has to be kept in practice through the ICA overseas chapters, and we are waiting for the further instructions from the ICA India how to take it up forward. This will also help us two members from India to execute their operations wherever our chapter is there with more ease and more facility. Considering to our members, as I have also told you that our 200 members is contributing 60% of the revenue for the local country, ICAI India. Just this explains how strong we are in Ugandan economy. And we are also having a president advisory committee in Uganda where ICAI representatives are there in presidential advisory committee. So any business houses having any kind of hurdles is represented directly to the president's office. In this way, we are benefited with the access to the policy makers here. And I would also like to explain about FTZ facility issued by the government of Uganda because this will help the people to make better decisions. FTZ facility is called like free trade zone facility in Uganda. Any company who is interested to invest in Uganda and whose business is export oriented, whose product is 80% of their production is exported from Uganda to other economies, they are provided like a FTZ license, which says that any profit generated by that company is tax free. Any commodity given to that company from the land of Uganda will be treated as export. So there is no taxes on the inputs, and all taxes on the profits is waived off, and no taxes on the exports. So these kind of facilities are also provided here. And if any company is ready to manufacture a commodity in Uganda, and if you can approach to the right channels through the government of Uganda, the government of Uganda also can support by imposing an import duty on the importation of these products. For example, there was no toothbrush manufacturing in Uganda and there was no pen manufacturing in Uganda like a couple of years before. And we have been importing a lot of these stuffs from China. We business community has approached the government that we want to produce them here, but we are not able to compete the cheaper products from China. The government has imposed 60% import duty on the toothbrushes and on the pens. So you can see the kind of support which you get from the government for the local manufacturers in Uganda. So these are the kind of assistance we get from the Uganda. I'd like to be happy if you have any questions to be taken or any other information you want from me.
One more question from my side. How stringent are the laws there?
Madam, the laws, the laws are, I don't say they are flexible. I don't say they are stringent, but they are business friendly. Because the right example, what I have explained to you now, if a government is protecting you to manufacture your commodity here, and within a span of 3 to 6 months to protect all the local manufacturers, they have introduced a new tax. So it is flexible. That's how I mean to say the laws are very flexible here and business friendly here. I will also say stringent in the scenarios that if any person, if any company involves in any kind of anti-law businesses in the money laundering or any such kind of activities, yes, the government is very strict on those things, and they don't entertain, and the punishments are very high. And recently they introduced NEMA. NEMA is National Environment, the body which is considering, which is a body which is taking care of the environmental issues, which is called as NEMA. They have introduced a new penalty system here now. If a factory is not licensed properly, or if it is emitting um, any kind of pollution which is above the licensed limits, or which is above the limits considered for that particular industry, they are charging the huge penalties of up to, in Indian rupees, I can say 2 crores, 3 crores, 4 crores. And the cause of penalty is not even that the cause of damage is not to the tune of that one. But the government is saying only one thing: why are you negotiating with the penalties? Because if somebody is doing a mistake, then they have to pay for it. So as long as you don't violate any law, you are under happy mode. But yes, if you violate any law, yes, they are very strict here. And we also have the double taxation avoidance agreements with India and Uganda. We also have the transfer pricing policy with India and Uganda. All those tax benefits are there. As of today, the global income is not taxed here. Only Ugandan income is taxed here. And any company who is interested to start up a company here, they can do either as a subsidiary of an Indian company, subsidiary of any abroad company, or subsidiary or standalone company in Uganda. So I see recently some companies from India came here, and they have agro processing industries in India, Hyderabad, and in Andhra Pradesh and in Karnataka. They have branches all over South India. Now, before they were buying the agro commodities from other destinations, and when through our Indian Business Forum and through other platforms, when we are propagating about Uganda, they have come here. They have started another company and sourcing the raw materials and providing those raw materials to their own companies in India. And I was told that their cost of production has reduced by almost 10% sourcing from Uganda. So these kind of many benefits are there for the Indian manufacturers here. And not only Ugandan manufacturers, Indian manufacturers are coming here to export their commodities to Uganda. And our Indian government, Exim Bank, is providing the finance cost and insurance for those companies who wants to export from India to Uganda. These kind of options are also available. As you say, as you have asked me about the law is very flexible as long as you are in the right path, and it is very strict as long as you are in the wrong path.
So you seem to be very, very satisfied. You have been there for 15 years, and it seems that you have gained a very good growth over there, and you have a command over a lot of things. You actually
Uh,
have the great knowledge about Uganda. One can approach to you and can have everything, whatever field he wants to enter into. They can. I mean, it's really insightful session from your side, sir. So you can actually guide us better. Whenever, I mean, I'll request the management team to provide an exclusive session for yours next time maybe. So whosoever wants to set up an industry there or who wants to practice there, they can have a fully one-to-one session maybe. That kind of thing we can have later on. Thank you, sir.
you're always welcome, madam.
Yeah, we have our next speaker here with us, CPA Pius Maneno. So he will be taking up the topic forging stronger connections in the emerging Africa. Welcome, sir. Let me quickly introduce you. CPA Pius sir is the executive director of the National Board of Accountants and Auditors. In short, we call it NBAA. It's in Tanzania. So Mr. Maneno has vast experience of over 30 years in accounting, financial management, and governance matters. He has served and he still serves in various governing bodies, ministerial advisory boards, and audit committees of parastatals and private companies in Tanzania and outside Tanzania also. He is the current president of the Institute of Risk Management Tanzania. He is also the vice chairman of the African Forum of Independent Accounting and Auditing Regulators. He's also the vice chairman of the Mozambique University Council in Tanzania and also the vice chairman of the Public Social Security Services Fund, that is PSSF Board of Trustees. So a lot of positions you are already holding, sir. And there's one more to be told, that is, he is the former chairman of the stock exchange there and the former chairman of the Institute of Directors in Tanzania and the former board member of the Pan African Federation of Accountants. Is there anything left, sir? What you are thinking in future? What else you want to be the chairman or the vice chairman of? So I think we have such an experienced person with us. We would like to hear from you, sir. Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Chair, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to thank ICAI or the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for giving me time and this chance to speak to the audience. I'm in London now, but I'll take a chance to speak for, as you said, 20 minutes or so, and then give you time for other activities. You want me to speak or to share my slides, or should I speak direct?
You have the presentation. If you're comfortable with it, we can have that also.
Okay, let me share.
Yes, sure. Visible.
Is it visible?
It is visible.
Okay. Thank you so much. You wanted me to talk about the forging stronger connection in the emerging Africa. I will speak on three main items. The first one, I want to say, what are the prerequisites for you or member of ICAI or any other person to be a global member? And if you want to be a global accountant auditor, you must possess the following 4 or 5 prerequisites. First, you must have the professional qualification so that you are going to be recognized in that particular state. For example, in Tanzania, when you come, then they are looking at your certificates, the ICAI member, then say, okay, this person has got a qualification proper to advise us. Also, relevant skills are needed and proper knowledge so that you can move around the planet. Experience in the past, it used to be there, but nowadays it's not very necessary because there are issues of artificial intelligence or digital world. So you become trusted advisor. There are several potential areas for collaboration or connection in this emerging Africa. There are some of the areas including the following. You can be member or education development share with a seminar, workshop as a resource person so that you are connected to the emerging Africa. The other item is institutional capacity building. You can, as an institution or as a firm, you can come to Africa and share with others so that you build the capacity of your people as well as the other people. Organizational support is crucial. You can support each other from India to Africa or else. Also, you can have staff exchange. For example, the Tanzanian or other people from Africa, they can come to India and then India come to Tanzania so that we have exchange programs. The other areas which is potential is technical guidance and resources. We can develop technical guidelines and resources so that all of us, we can share between our countries, between the continent and the other people. The other side is development of learning materials. We've got students of the profession or newcomers who we can assist by having learning materials so that they can develop their in their respective profession. There are areas of standard setting. Tanzania have adopted IFRS and IPSAS for the public sector, and we've got our own standards for micro entities. But we need to have guidelines on the same so that people or our members between the Institute of Chartered Accountants India and NBAA and other people in Africa, they can understand what we are doing. Audit quality review is very crucial. That is auditing or inspection of auditing firms or inspection of auditors, because auditors are doing audit, but also they need to be inspected to make sure that they are complying with other activities. There are issues of practical experience. Someone need to be attached, newcomers, they need to be attached so that in the institute of in an organization or firm, so that they can become capable and knowledgeable on practical experience. The last but not the least is on issues of public-private partnership. That is investment. You can come and invest, as previous speaker said, there are, you can join together. For example, in Tanzania, for example, you have got people from India, the member of the Institute of India. They can come to Tanzania, but we are not allowing all foreigners to do it alone. So they need to part with joint local partners so that they can start a firm and doing other activities. Also, Tanzania is gifted up with natural resources. So people can come, do tourism or accounting for tourism or whatever they want to do, other investments, they are warmly welcome. These are potential areas. Now, what are the potentials or connecting opportunities and the way forward? We're embracing changes in innovation. We're also promoting their profession through training, documentation, locally and globally, as I said. But we need to strengthen educational skills, changing the roles from number crunchers to business advisors, risk managers, and data analysts. We need to have competence education rather than knowledge base. In the past, or from university schools, we used to have knowledge-based education, but nowadays we need competence-based education. And the good thing with opportunities with technology, we need to leverage technologies so that, like we are doing now, I'm in UK. I'm supposed to go to Tanzania tomorrow, but I'm in UK. I'm doing something for ICAI. So we need to leverage this technology to make sure that we are connecting. We need also to strengthen corporate governance and promote sustainability reporting. For example, I've seen a report from the Institute of the International Standard Sustainability Board. There are 37 countries which have adopted fully ISB standards, sustainability reporting. Among them, more than 7 are from Africa. That's why we are saying emerging Africa. And Africa is endowed with diverse renewable resources, ranging from biomass and microhydro, geothermal, solar, wind, clean cooking, etc. So when we promote sustainability reporting, as has been required now, and even the sustainability development goals, you find that we need tone at the top. In Tanzania, for example, from the leadership of our ex-president, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, you find that she's leading the clean cooking. So everyone is doing that. And the profession in Tanzania has adopted sustainability reporting from 2023, effective from 2024. Now everyone is working on promoting sustainability reporting. So these are areas which we need to be connected to each other. I remember in 1990s, there was a law in Tanzania that on the last day of Saturday of a month, last Saturday of a month, none is allowed to go out of house or residence without doing cleaning until 11 o'clock. That thing is being adopted by other countries. And I've seen there is, for example, a region in Tanzania is called Kilimanjaro, where Mount Kilimanjaro is the highest mountain in Africa, is one of the cleanest towns in the continent. Even Rwanda, if you go to Rwanda, they've adopted a similar law, but that is 2000, whereby you are not allowed, the last Saturday of the month, you are not allowed to go to office until afternoon. You are supposed to clean your place. You are supposed to clean your place of business and your house. So because of that, we find Kigali is now one of the cleanest cities in the world. Building public trust through risk management and standards is another area which we need to connect so that we have opportunities to develop. SCSR, the corporate social responsibility, is mandatory to attract a new generation. We need new generation in our profession and effective communication and awareness. Now, NBAA in Tanzania now is a member of IFAC from 1986. So ICAI members and other people from the profession, we can connect through the IFAC. Also, NBAA, as you put it, CA Soman, NBA is a member of Pan-African Federation of Accountants from 2011. We can connect with other members in the world through the PAFA, the Pan-African Federation of Accountants. So we can work in public interest, doing trade and enhance benefits and equal services to Africa. NBAA is also a founder member of African Forum of Independent Accounting and Auditing Regulators, AFIA. This is the continental body representing accountants regulators, established in 2018 with over 17 members. So we can connect each other and come to Africa and work through the AFIA. We also have got a mutual recognition agreement in East Africa, whereby you can connect through Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, and Tanzania through this institute. So they're through this MRI. So when you come to Tanzania, we can connect you with other people in Africa through our MRIs. In addition to that, we've got MOU with the Institute of Chartered Accountants in India, which was signed in 2018 to strengthen a mutual cooperation in the area of member management, professional ethics, technical matters, CPD, audit quality monitoring, and others, and intellectual development. So we can connect each other using this MOU from India to Tanzania or Tanzania to India, with other MOU with Mozambique, or on doing establishing mutual cooperation in areas of support in adoption of implementation process to conduct conference, evaluation, registration, and evaluation of assets. So through this MOU, we can connect, apart from entities or individual members, even entities ourselves, ICAI, NBAA, the institute in Tanzania, we can connect each other so that we can work together for the betterment of the profession. I understand there are a number of challenges, but if you become global with those qualifications, your profession, you are working through MOU, we can overcome these challenges, including the standards, different professional standards across the globe, bridging the gap, even combating unethical behaviors. And through adoption of technologies like IA or blockchain, data analytics, we can work together. I remember through ICAI, we came to India, we learned about ICAI, you call it UDIN, and we've worked on the same. And now we're doing very fine NBAA with that one. And we appreciate for that assistance, which we work together on issues of technology. To conclude, as I said, 20 minutes, together we shall connect and move the profession forward. I thank you very much for giving me time to speak for the 20 minutes you asked me. Thank you very much. If you have any question, or I'm ready to answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really very, very insightful. There are a lot of connections you have already told us, and it is for each one of you to explore them, how we can connect with that. So, at individual level, how can we connect to any one of you in Africa? I mean, it's to the institute only, or we can connect through individual at individual level also.
Hello?
Can you hear us, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, so I just wanted to understand. First of all, thank you so much for your insightful session, sir.
Okay.
A lot of connections you have already displayed on the screen. So it's for all of us to explore. I was just asking how we can connect at our individual level, maybe at our firm's level, that way. Do we have to become member of these platforms, or how it goes then?
No, in normally there are two ways. I can member, they can come be member of NBAA. You know, in Tanzania, we've got ICAI local chapter, the Dar es Salaam chapter. We can work through them. So members from ICAI, they can come through that chapter and then they connect. If you want to stay permanent in Tanzania, that's when you need to be registered by the board. But you can come, invest, and then go do a work and then go. But if you want to be permanent there, you have to register. But since we've got MOU with ICAI, what it means, through ICAI, we can recognize as your member, temporary member. We call them temporary member if you come and live. So that's the way we are connecting our foreigners or people from other countries. And it's been like that for quite some time, from 2014. Thank you so much.
And this temporary period is how long, sir? How long one can become a temporary member? So the
Yes?
temporary membership which you are talking about, how long does that last?
Temporary membership, as long as you've got a project.
Okay.
You can stay even for 10 years. For example, your project is finishing after 10 years, then that's when you can be temporary. Because when you say temporary, it means you don't have Tanzanian passport. I can say so. So you can stay even 10 years as long as your project is continuing. Some of them, they're staying for 1 year, other 5 years. It depends. You're warmly welcome.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your wonderful words, sir. And we now have our next speaker with us on the same topic, A. Sakshi Ahuja. So she is a chartered accountant and company secretary with over 5 years of experience in corporate tax, international taxation, transfer pricing, indirect taxation, financial analyst, and a lot more. And she has experience in both client-facing consultancy and internal corporate roles, leveraging her strong analytical skill and regulatory knowledge. She has been able to navigate complex tax environments and enhance the business outcomes. She has previously worked with the tax and consulting practices of the public accounting firms. Along with this, she has also gained insights of the finance role while working in the manufacturing and logistics industry. She has recently moved to Egypt to leverage her experience with the intent of broadening her career horizon. So, though you have recently moved there, we would like to hear a lot from you, and we would like to also have the expert knowledge, whatever you have in your field. Thank you so much. Welcome to this forum.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Divya. Thank you for the introduction. A very warm good afternoon to everybody here, the esteemed members and the fellow members who are part of this session. Thank you for this opportunity to the ICAI Egypt chapter here in Egypt for giving me this opportunity for taking this session. My session would be on forging stronger connections in emerging Africa, wherein I would be covering Egypt as a nation in transformation. So when we hear about Egypt, what comes to our mind? I would definitely say the first are pyramids. because everybody is aware of pyramids as a wonder of the world. Then river valley civilization, Nile civilization is one thing. Egypt is basically economy, which is a cradle of civilization. So it has an old history of civilization. And if you talk about today's Egypt, it is a modern Egypt wherein it is blending its ancient history with modernization and economic development as part of its nation building exercise. So the focus of the economy lies more on economic diversification, infrastructure growth, digital transformation, and foreign investment. These are the topics which we will be covering in later part of the presentation. So let's start the presentation. Okay. So if we talk about the location, Egypt as a nation is very strategically located. It lies on the north part of Africa continent, and it is close to uh, Middle East. So herein, the Middle East covers the regions which are right to the Egypt. Then it is very close to the Europe market. So it acts actually as a bridge between Asia, Africa, and Europe market as a whole. So it is strategically located in terms of it as the Suez Canal also passes through the Egypt borders, and thus Suez Canal, which is a shipping one of the most busiest shipping route here globally. So Egypt is actually leveraging the position of Suez Canal and capitalizing it in terms of global trade. So let's come to the geographic overview. Geographically, Egypt has a total area of 1 million square kilometers, which is majorly land. The land area is 9,95,000 square kilometer, and the water, which is basically River Nile, it covers an area of around 6,000 square kilometers. The border areas are it is bordered by Gaza, um, Palestine. To the left, it is Libya, and to the down south, it is Sudan. So these are the bordering countries of Egypt. Um, Egypt is being divided into 4 distinct regions: the Nile Valley and Delta, Western Desert, Eastern Desert, and Sinai Peninsula. Sinai Peninsula lies to the western part of Asia and Africa. So it actually acts as a bridge between Asia and Africa, and thus is actually a key area for tourism here. Eastern Desert, a region covers the mining hub, wherein the minerals, gold, and marble are being mined. The Western Desert covers it's actually rich in minerals and oil reserves. So the oil part comes from the Western Desert, and Nile Valley is the heartland of agriculture and the living population here in Egypt. Let's come to the population dynamics. So Egypt as a country, they have actually converted their desert or barren lands into uh, 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 the urbanization has happened, and the lands, the deserts has been converted, or infrastructure growth has been there, and they have been converted into residential accommodations, industrial parks, industrial units. Thereby urbanization or urban concentration here is more. The total population is 118 million. There has been an increase since November 2024. But on the same side, if I talk about the fertility rate, that there has been a dip in the fertility rate since 2014. A significant dip in terms of it has fallen down from 3.5 to 2.41, which is the latest fertility rate. as Africa is one of the most populated continent, Egypt is actually planning in terms of family planning so that the economic developments happens at a good speed. As earlier mentioned by the speakers earlier, that in Africa, generally there are no such controls happening on the family planning, but Egypt now is actually taking measures on the family planning. So the urban concentration is around 43%, which is major if we compare it with other countries. And people here are located in the urban areas, which is generally Greater Cairo, Alexandria, and a new administrative capital has been set up in 2024 recently. We'll be talking about that in the later slides. Okay, so let's come to the economic growth projections. So EBRD, World Bank, and IMF have actually projected some growth, GDP growth projections, which is around 4.3%, which has actually risen from 2.3% last year, thus making Africa as one of the fastest growing economies in Africa, making Egypt as one of the fastest growing economies in Africa continent. So in FY 24-25, the GDP was 4.3%. This growth was driven by manufacturing sector, tourism, and opening of ICT sector, which is the communication and telecom sector. So manufacturing hubs, industrial parks have been set up as part of the planning process. Then tourism, since pyramids are one attractive tourist location here in Egypt, thus there has been 18% increase in the tourist population here. And the setting up of 5G technology has actually contributed to the ICT sector, the development of the ICT sector, therein, driving the GDP growth. Okay, so the next topic is budget. So the budget is the budget which has been set up for the current FY 25-26 is 795 billion EGP. The currency used here is Egyptian pound, which is denominated. So $1 is around 50 Egyptian pounds. The revenue which is expected for this year is around 3.1 trillion EGP, and there has been expected a 19% increase. The expenditure has also risen, is expected to rise, and it is around 4.6 trillion. The goal of the economy is to reduce the public debt to 82.9% of the GDP. So this would actually help in raising the average wages, which is EGP 7,000 for this year. And these are the minimum wages. And these minimum wages are actually far better if we compare it with the other African nations and other economies. So average wages are doing very well here in Egypt. Then social protection measures, 732.6 billion of the total budget has been allocated to social protection measures here in Egypt. So the social protection measures would include providing subsidy on the basic necessities, food, power, electricity, oil. So as a nation, Egypt has actually focused on providing more subsidies to its general public as compared to other economies. So, in terms of social protection, these measures or the subsidies are being given in ways of, say, cash transfers or food subsidies, job opportunities after graduation. They have a policy plan wherein the education is being funded by the Egyptian government, and once the person has graduated, he or she will get a job in a particular sector. So this is how the social protection measures are being covered as part of the budget sector. Okay, so next comes the trade performance. So trade performance would cover the export and import areas. Exports have actually risen on a year-on-year growth. There has been a 24.1% growth, making it to USD 4.43 billion exports as of February 2025. The major sectors which have contributed to the export growth are ready-made garments, petroleum products, and the processed food industry. If we talk about imports have actually dipped thereby making the trade deficit narrower. Um, on an individual level, if you talk about energy commodities, imports have increased. Wheat, pharmaceuticals, import have decreased, and industrial raw materials, the imports have decreased. So the trade balance has actually been narrowed down to nearly one third, since the exports are higher and the imports are lower. Uh, to the top export destinations to which Egypt exports its commodities are Saudi Arabia, Turkey, UAE, Italy, and the United States. Okay, the next topic we'll be covering is the service sector growth. So in Egypt, the around 30% of the population is the young workforce, which are involved in the service sector. The sector-wise growth is manufacturing. So Egypt, like if the other Arab countries are considered, it is they are more focused on the oil manufacturing, wherein in Egypt the oil manufacturing is less, and non-oil manufacturing, it has risen by 17.7% in quarter two of financial year 24-25. The tourism has increased. Obviously, it has been influenced by the Gulf arrivals and pyramids being the major attraction. Telecom, 5G telecom towers has been set up. The 5G deployment has actually been implemented here on a very wider area. The internet communication and technology is also actually growing. There has been a 10.4% growth. This is on account of the digital payment setup which has been implemented here, and growing growth of the 5G technology. Okay, so the new administrative capital, which we were earlier talking about, so Egypt has actually set up a new administrative capital. This was decided way back in 2013-14, and it has now recently, say in April 2024 itself, this has been formally inaugurated as the new government hub. This capital is being developed in phases. The first phase would has covered government buildings, presidential palaces, parliaments, residential zones. So basically, the important areas. And the next phase would cover the essentials, which would include hospitals, schools, industrial parks, etc. This capital is designed or to accommodate around 7 million residents in Egypt in the new administrative capital. Okay, so as we've discussed before, that Suez Canal, which is a bridge between the global trade happening to and fro from here. Suez Canal actually plays a very important role as it is strategically located, and it is actually a welcoming or attractive opportunity which Egypt is leveraging. So earlier it was only a one-way zone wherein only one-way traffic can go, but recently the Suez Canal has been enlarged and has been developed, and now two integrated zones wherein the movement is happening to and fro. So the traffic is moving both ways. So it has around 4 ports with the location of 461 square kilometers. So it covers the neighboring canals, neighboring locations, wherein the custom rate has been reduced to zero. That is why it is called a Suez Canal Economic Zone, like we have the SEZs in India. As of now, the East Port is handling around 10 million containers annually, which amounts to 80% of the Egyptian transshipment trade. New developments are roll on roll of cargoes have been implemented. Dry bulk and general cargo terminals they are being planned to launch in the second half of 2025. Hopefully, by the next year, we'll get to know about these developments. And Abu Dhabi Port Group, they have signed a 50-year agreement wherein they'll be investing 120 million US dollars initially for the development of Suez Canal and areas around it. So even India would getting a designated area. This has been in talks. So a designated area wherein India would be there would be movement of goods and setting up of industrial parks in that particular neighboring area of the Suez Canal. So let's come to the India-Egypt relationship. So we have here the ICAI chapter in Egypt, which is actually looking after, which is actually the counterpart of ICAI here. And as a nation, India has been contributing or has been a strategic ally for development of Egypt as a nation. So if we talk about there has been a significant relationship as both the economies they have been sharing an old civilization history. So there has been a strong relationship which both the organizations are both the nations are maintaining. In Egypt, there are around 35, 40 CAs, chartered accountants in Egypt, which are involved in various sectors. And they are actually either in different forms. I mean, either they are working here or working for Indian companies or companies which are run by the Indians. So at good designations and at higher designations, they are performing their role here in Egypt. If you talk about the bilateral trade between India and Egypt, so $7.2 billion was the amount of trade which was there in FY 21-22. This was a record high for both the nations. But due to the devaluation which occurred from 2022 to 2024 in Egypt, there has been a significant dip in terms of the trade. So the trade has actually dipped down to $4.6 billion. However, in the current year, this has improved, and it is expected to improve, there has been a target of $12 billion, which has been set up by both the nations, and hopefully these amounts would be covered. The key traded products from India to Egypt are meat, ferro alloys, rice, and flat rolled iron products. These are the primary products which are being exported from India to Egypt, other than the other basic necessities. From Egypt, there are certain products which are basically petroleum products and minerals, which are being exported from Egypt to India, basically covering petroleum oil, gas, chemical fertilizers, ammonia, phosphoric acid, and all. So basically, energy-related commodities and fertilizers are being exported. Okay, so next comes the strategic collaboration areas. Renewables. Since this area has solar and wind energy available in abundance, there's actually an ample opportunities for renewable energy or companies which are dealing in renewable energy. So recently, green hydrogen projects MOUs have been signed for amount of $18 billion, and Indian companies which are looking forward or which have actually invested here are Renew Power, ACME, and Acquire Energy. Uh, Considering the abundance available, uh, the Suez Canal Economic Zone, as we have discussed earlier, India would be designated an Indian industrial zone, which is planned within the SC zone, with the focus on setting up of automotive, textile, and IT sector industry. The next strategic collaboration between India and Egypt could be digital payments. So India has had the learning from the UPI, and thus that learnings can be implemented here, as Egypt also uses a similar payment method, which is called InstaPay, um, for digital payments. That can be that those challenges which have been faced in the UPI while implementation and its operationalization, that can be that those learnings can be implemented here, and as a strategic collaboration, this could help in enhance cooperation for the payment systems in their integration, and thus would ensure smoother international trade settlements. The next strategic collaboration could be agricultural market access, which would allow Egyptian agriculture products to move to India, thus increasing the exports from Egypt. Okay, next comes the investment landscape. India and or the global countries who have been strategically partnering with Egypt, and they have been investing here in Egypt. Close to 450 companies are being registered. Indian companies are being registered in Egypt, out of which 50 plus are actively operating. These 50 plus companies, they have combined investments of around investments which exceed $4 billion. So this is actually a very huge sum from Indian perspective, which has inflowed into the Egyptian markets. The major investments are being done by TCI, Sanmar, and Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra has opened its first global delivery center in Egypt. Certain other companies are Dabur, Asian Paints, Marico, which have set up their manufacturing facilities in Egypt. And certain other Indian-run companies are also being set up here in Egypt. So this is how the relationship between India and Egypt economy is being strengthened by way of investments in India. Other than investments, there are being inflow of human talent, basically chartered accountants or other professionals which have who have come to Egypt for either job opportunities or as assist or as consultants or advisors to the Egyptian companies. So this is how they are contributing. The chartered accountants are contributing on a global level. Okay, so the investment opportunities, if we talk about in Egypt, there has been a tourism boom. First of all, because of the pyramids of Giza. Then there's a recent Grand Egyptian Museum, which has opened in the pyramids complex only. This has opened recently in July. And this is expected to attract tourists internationally, and thus there would be a tourist boom. Next is the golden license. Golden license are fast track permits. So basically, earlier for a particular for say setting up of an industry or certain approvals were required. The time period was 18 months, but now this has actually been reduced to 30 days for certain qualifying projects. and the approvals are here in Egypt are generally business friendly. So getting the approvals for setting up of the business is comparatively easy, though obviously certain efforts are required, but yes, are certainly easy. Then real estate has been a booming sector here. So it lies on the north coast, and there are certain coral reef areas which lies, and foreign investments have been flowing into. The foreign investments are majorly from the Gulf areas. Recently, a Ras Al Hekma deal has been signed, which is around $35 billion. This would involve setting up of the chalets on the shores of the north coast and Ras Al Hikma. So this is how we portray how Egypt is being portrayed. So on a concluding note, I would say Egypt is actually balancing its its legacy along with modernization. So the company has brought upon economic reforms, infrastructural reforms, focusing so that there has been this focus on trade and global economy, along with strategic partnerships with the global companies. So this is how Egypt has been a welcoming nation for the purpose of investments and obviously nationals. India has there has been actually a friendly relationship between India and Egypt, and we as chartered accountants with increased with increased assistance or consultancy to the Egyptian companies or multinationals here in Egypt, we could actually foster a growth environment and continue to be part or pioneer or part of such a nation or national building of Egypt as a whole. So I believe Egypt could emerge as a leading economy in the African continent and even as globally because of its strategic location and futuristic investment growth opportunities. That's all. Any questions?
Yeah. I'm just checking the chat box or the question and answer box. Right now, we don't have any question, but there is a question from my side. How is your experience being, relocated there? So how is it?
So far it has been good. I mean, I've been in India since my birth. So moving to Egypt for a business opportunity that was not expected. But yes, when this opportunity came, I took that way, and I've been exploring here. The weather here is good. The opportunities here are good. The cost of living is obviously good. So that is, I mean, attractive opportunity for the other chartered accountants as well. So
Being a woman, how would you say about the working culture or the life there?
So, work culture there has been, a different work culture if you compare it with India or the other nations. But yes, there's one good thing: the timings are being followed. So, at times you have to stretch your day, but averagely, if I talk about the work timings and the work culture, it has been good here.
So there's equal opportunity for men and women there. How is
Yes,
it?
yes.
Okay. And how often do you have to upgrade yourself? How fast the laws are changing there?
So the fundamentals are same, but yes, since here people speak Arabic language, that is one challenge. So that is one challenge, and if we talk about the laws and all, it is more or less same. The fundamentals are same. You just need to grasp in terms of the laws here.
So where can one study all these laws? Suppose if one wants to understand about Egypt or anything related to African laws, where can we go and check that out?
It is majorly available on the websites. the government websites here. We can share the links in the chat box or later. So the laws and all are not that easily available. If we talk about, say, India has its own website, and the whole income tax law is available. So I could not still find that, but yes, we still have those books or the information available from the local community here.
And just wanted to understand how many Indian chartered accountants are there in Egypt. Do you have any idea?
I got to know around there are around 40 plus chartered accountants here, which are being deployed in different fields, different sectors of both the Indian companies and the multinationals.
Okay, so really nice to know the insights of Egypt beyond, pyramids. There is a lot to explore professionally also there, as you already displayed through your presentation. So it was very nice to know that there are opportunities in Egypt as well. So I would now like to thank you for the wonderful presentation. And we have a next speaker,
Thank you, Divya.
Arpit Kabra. Yeah. So, Arpit Kabra is the Vice Chairman of Digital Accounting and Assurance Board of ICAI. Is he here? Has Arpit sir joined? The technical team, can you please check that up? Okay, okay. So, Anurag Sharma, sir, over to you. What would you like to say in this regard, please? Anurag sir, can you hear us? The technical team, you'll have to check it from your end. Is there any issue? Never mind. Meanwhile, if participants have any kind of queries, we have all our experts here. We have the wonderful panel of experts. You have already heard them. So if you have any kind of queries, please don't restrict yourself. Just put your queries in the chat box or the question and answer box and try to resolve all those queries. I think Anurag sir will rejoin in a moment. So meanwhile, I think we can share what all is there in the whole week planned for the participants in this ICAI Global Week. So I'll just share my screen for that purpose. Just a second. So ICAI Global Week is planned from 29th of September till 7th of October. So what all it has, just let us check that. Arpit sir, if you are here, we can directly hear it from you. If you are ready to go.
If you continue, and then once you're done, let me know.
All right, all right. So I was just sharing the screen to tell everyone that this is what the plan for the whole week is. Yeah, I think my screen is visible now. Yes, okay. So here is the overall schedule, which is there planned for all the chartered accountants. So don't just say local, just go global. That is what the mantra from CA Institute for all of us now. So it is, as we all know, it is being organized by Development of International Trade Service and WTO Directorate. In short, we call it DITS WTO Directorate. So what all is there? On 29 September, that is yesterday, I mean. So we already explored the Asian countries and beyond. Today, we are diving into the African narratives. We have already heard a lot of speakers, how the scenario is there, how we can engage ourselves in those countries. I mean, Uganda or Egypt or whatever. We have just heard all about it. Then next is exploring US, revealing business opportunities and sustainable development. That is coming tomorrow. Next, we have on 3rd of October, that is unveiling Europe's essence, land of opportunities. So again, a different uh, uh, territory altogether. How we can explore our, talent and what all things are available for a chartered accountant in that territory altogether. So see, Institute has planned so much for us. They are getting different speakers from each and every part of the world for all of us. So it is for us to understand that it's not the time to just limit ourselves within the taxation or audit part only. We can actually use our skills and knowledge and explore the world altogether. This is the plan for the 4th October, that is discovering Canada's multifaceted excellence. Then on 6th October, we have this exploring the complexities of the Middle East. And then on 7th October, which is the last day, it will be for the unmasking Australian opportunities. So all the nooks and corner of the world have been explored, will be explored in fact. So I think we all should stay tuned and join for all these sessions. Okay, sir, over to you. Arpit Kabra, sir, everyone knows about you. He's a very dynamic personality. And I think you are already going somewhere, sir. We can see you moving somewhere. Hope not to Africa. But we want to hear from you regarding the forensic opportunities, forensic accounting opportunities, which can be there in India as well as in other parts of the world, how we can explore that opportunity. Over to you, sir.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. And I'm sure people who have logged in would be having a good time interacting with the new aspects of what we are doing, the ICI under the WTO is doing. One of the key initiatives, one of the key differentiators that we as chartered accountants now have is, of course, in forensic accounting and investigation. And to make this as an exclusive domain for chartered accountants, and also understand that forensic means for the use for the purpose of use in the court of law. Now, when we talk about this for the purpose of use in court of law, one of the most important thing happens is we have to understand the use of evidences and who can present an evidence in a financial frauds better than a chartered accountant. Now, to all of you who are joining us from across the borders and people who are here, let me tell you that as a degree, as a discipline in commerce background and being a chartered accountant and with the knowledge of financial discipline, with the knowledge of how evidences work, and with the knowledge of audit, I think one of the best things is investigation and account. Also, you would be happy to. Acha. Is it better now? So pardon me, I'm actually had to move right now. Otherwise, I would have stayed put at a place, and therefore, just pardon me because of the logistics issue that I might face while I'm moving. What I'll try and do is just find out a stationary spot and be there with you for the next 10-15 minutes and take you through the FAIS. Since I was mentioning that, one of the best frameworks that we have developed, the ICI has done is we have set up the forensic accounting and investigation standards, the first in its kind in the world. Because we essentially believe that as a chartered accountant, as a commerce professional, it is we who can do this. Am I audible now? So, okay. So what I was sharing is, just pardon me because of the logistics, I'm not able to, get a constant network. I think I have a network and I have stationed myself. I want to quickly take you through the most exciting spaces that is forensic accounting standard. The one of it's launched by ICI exclusively to be used for chartered accountants by chartered accountants or of the chartered accountants. Now, if I'm allowed to share the screen, can you please is my screen visible? Sorry, is this visible now?
Yeah, screen is visible, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Divya. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. So this is the compendium of forensic accounting investigation standards which has been issued by the ICI as on 1st July 23. It's available, it's accessible freely over across the ICI portal. All of you can please access it. What I'm trying to take you through is one of the most important parts of first, uh, these are, 20 forensic accounting investigation standards. This is only to prepare a comprehensive understanding of forensic accounting investigations, which is exclusively our domain. As a commerce professional, it is we who can, really get this out and start working on this in a very, very effective manner. So these are some of the important frameworks in the forensic accounting investigations. Once you understand the entire governing framework, what you can now do is look at what are the assignments, what are the kind of standards that we have. One, nature of engagement. Now this talks about how we as chartered accountants can roll out forensic engagements. What is the nature of this engagement? Let me tell you all of you that, it is unlike an assurance. It is unlike a true and fair view. Your opinion is not required. In fact, you have to actually bring out clear evidences in terms of whether there was a fraud done or not done, or was there a misrepresentation in the financial statements, or there were any other reasons that made us to understand that, the information that was provided has been false and full of misleading statements. Second is fraud risk. Third are laws and regulations applying hypothesis. Now, what I would like to suggest is, laws and regulations. Fraud as a terminology has not been defined anywhere in any of the acts across the country. And therefore, in order to understand fraud, we need to import the definition of fraud from almost 17 different acts. It could be the Indian Contract Act, it could be the Civil Procedures Act, it could be the Ministry of Corporate Affairs regulations, the GRs that have come, or it could be, the Bible. The Bible, what we have is um, the RBI circular on master frauds, master circular on frauds directions issued by RBI on 1st July 2016. So that is one of the base guideline on which you can identify and report frauds. Then we have engagement objectives. So using the work of experts. So all of this, the engagement management standards on engagement management are the ones. Let me tell you that these have been formed so that when you present a report, no one can question you, no one can ask you whether are you rightfully presenting that report or not, or in the right framework or not, or is there anyone else who can suggest ki nahi, this could be in a different. So today, no one has decided or no one has really commented about how should the framework of a forensic report look like. And therefore, when in courts of law, what happens is here, then everywhere, all different type of reports do come. No one is able to actually follow. There is no universal language that forensic accounting people can follow. In order to bridge that gap, in order to make sure that we all can align ourselves, and whatever work that we do is acceptable also across the horizon, these standards have been made. Then there are standards on executing assignments. Now, this is very important. FAI's 320 is one of the most important ones. Evidence and documentation, work procedures, interviews. Let me tell you, something which has been obtained illegally or something which is a hearsay cannot ever be considered as a evidence. So therefore, you will have to conduct interviews. One of the key ingredient of doing a forensic accounting is conducting an interview. Review and supervision, testifying before a competent authority. Now, this is something we all lack. None of us have the ability or have the exposure, or probably, we have to develop that competence to testify before a competent authority. A competent authority could be any agency, could be one of the enforcements, could be any of the departments, and could be the local police, state police, or the central police. So all of these organizations play a role. People who are from offshore and from offshore across the borders, I would really like you to, please do focus on understanding these FAIs, because now ICI has globally benchmarked these standards. So, for example, today, since we are addressing all the African nations, in your respective courts, in your respective jurisdictions, actually, we can actually tie up and we can create a framework of FAIS, of developing these standards, and they can be actually easily adopted and implemented in your jurisdictions as well. And they have been globally benchmarked for with your acts, with your existing regulations, with your existing. So, all of that has been already done by the ICI here in India. And now all we need to do, and we are already in talks with 18 countries, and very soon, I think they will be adopting these FAIs, so that when it comes to cyber frauds, when it comes to any other fraud, financial frauds, and if someone has to represent evidences, someone has to present a report, FAIs would be mandatory or would be a guiding framework for all of those reports. You see how detailed we have gone through. Now applying data analysis, evidence gathering in digital domain, loans or borrowing. This is a sector specific FAIS 430 that we have created. Now, I mean, this, usually in an audit, you do certain checks and procedures for loans and borrowings. But here in forensics, because there are areas like evergreening, there is teaming and layering, there are use of connected parties, related parties, and whatnot, and how equity, a borrowing of one company becomes equity in the other, and then all the subsidiaries raise further capital based on single borrowing. I think all of that is covered very well in FAS 430. Then we have got a reporting results. Then we've got a quality control, and these are our 20 FAIs. So I think just to because I've got a very small window of explaining things. These are some very important frameworks that has come out, and as I've always mentioned, we need to, wherever we are, um, the moment, uh, for example, you must have done, say, a GST, you know GST, you know auditing, you know assurances, and you always claim that we know this. But when it comes to FAFD, when it comes to forensics, none of us actually raise our hands and say, look, we've done FAIS, look, we are from a place who understands FAIS. There is an accounting standard which we are actually implementing, and these investigation standards are the ones which are to be, adopted and reported throughout whenever you do a forensic engagements. So the mere knowledge of these standards can make you capable and eligible to conduct these forensic engagements. Frauds are on the rise. Financial, as you can see, audit trails and financial trails have become such an important phenomena that you need to now keep on talking about it, keep on reporting it, and more importantly, create it. Um, we are the best ones who can understand this very well, and also try and use in our daily engagements, in normal course of our professional endeavors, we can actually try and put this into implementation. The RBI circular that I'm talking about on 1st July 2016, I'm telling you, it talks about red flags, it talks about early warning signals. These are the must to have. Audit as a profession is yet to evolve. For the past 25 years, it is as it is. Since the kind of business, the kind of ecosystem has evolved overnight, we all have to evolve as auditors as well. And therefore, the digital function has to become more keen. And therefore, what I believe is we have to start adopting red flags and early warning signals as our basic audit approach. So test check and materiality may soon be a thing of past. We have to now start working on something called as a digital function of audit and assurances, and in that entire space, data analytics becomes a huge importance. And second, what becomes important is how do you actually use the entire set of data to audit using red flags. There is a scenario called too good to be true. There are some other scenarios, there are some principles, there are some scientific methods in which you can actually find out and disclose a pattern of wrongdoings that are happening in the books of accounts. I think that is where we need to focus. Instead of doing a compliance audit again and again, we need to now start using this kind of an approach. I think more detail about this, because the time is limited here. What I would like to do, therefore, is give you a very, very quick snapshot of the FIS. I hope I've done that, and uh, that's it from my end. Hope if there are any questions, we'll be happy to take them.
Arpit sir, since you are the vice chairman of Digital Accounting and Assurance Board, we
Right.
would also like to hear what this board is doing for its members. What are the new initiatives it has taken?
So there are 7 offerings. Thanks, Divya. There are 7 offerings of the Digital Accounting Assurance Board, and I would request every member who is here to please follow DAB. 2 reasons. One, you will understand how quick we are moving in terms of digital evolution as an auditor. So, for example, a framework of blockchains, a framework of cloud computing, a framework of data analytics, a framework of red flags and early warning signals. We have also now gone ahead and we are now talking about information system audit standards. Divya, you would know, we have got so many people who have qualified DISA. Okay? Our DISA is a hands-on experience certificate course. Most of them who have done this are eligible to become system auditors, but none of us have actually raised hands and said that, look, here we are DISA qualified as system auditors. Most of the engineers are now doing this work, and therefore the SEBI and all other stakeholders have requested and have come to us, come to ICAI, saying that we need financial professionals to do system audits, because the integration of finance, the implication of finance in a system, in a process, is what makes us the most valuable resource for all of these regulators. Unfortunately, since we know GST, we've always raised our hands. हमको GST आता है, हम GST करेंगे. We'll do all the registration, we'll do compliance. Now GST litigation is coming. I don't know how many of us are ready. You have to start working on it. Until unless you claim that you know this, there is nothing that can be given to you. And therefore, that is what is. So for the first time again, we are now coming out with information system audit standards. Already our team has been ready. We are working on it. There's a massive team of around more than 45 people who are now working day and night to roll out these information system audit standards. It's everything in the dark. There are internal audits. There is a different body of ISACA. There is a different body of system auditors, whatnot. We are bringing and bridging all of them. But you know what? There are so many technical jargons involved. I don't know. As a chartered accountant, I think we have to be up above and we have to be on the game about these technical jargons implications, and more importantly, understand how things flow from one implication to the other. That's DAB, what it's doing. One another important function that the DAB has initiated is it is called DXFS, that is the digital transformation function of a statutory auditor. As an assurance function, we have to now evolve digitally. As I said, there are very few people there are in advanced countries. No one has adopted test check and materiality as as means of auditing. They are doing 100% auditing. They are reporting largely through red flags and largely through exception reporting. I think that is some function that we all need to understand, gear up. There's a function framework called as ASM, Agency for Specialized Monitoring. There is a function called as due diligence, in asset tracing as a function. I think these are some new functions which are now coming only and only for chartered accountants, and we need to gear up and adopt all of them. So that's from the DAB, and I'm sure all of you would be enlightened about this. To know more, watch and follow DAB and DXFS on Instagram and LinkedIn. You will hear a lot of things about DAB. But yes, let's stay above the curve. Let's stay hungry and let's stay foolish.
That was so nice of you to tell us all about this. Just one more thing, because today's session is practically based on how we can navigate the African scenario. So, how can we approach there, saying that we have this skill set with us? Suppose we can say that we have the knowledge of systems and all. How can we approach there and we can get the opportunity of becoming a system auditor there?
System auditor is a remote thing. First of all, we need to talk about forensics. We need to talk about risk-based auditing. So, for example, I know multiple countries, including South Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, Ethiopia, and there's one more country, I think, Tanzania I mentioned. So these people they already are interested and they are looking for Indian chartered accountants to help them mitigate their frauds, find out those frauds, frame reports, draft reports, frame charges against them, and present it as an evidence in the court of law. Also, our Indian banking ecosystem is very much prevalent in these countries, including, say, Bank of Baroda or an SBI or a Bank of India. And all of these people definitely need a lot of our support there. So, it is always a worthwhile to reach out to local professionals. So we've got chapters there, for example. Now, we should interact with them and we should see if any meaningful partnership can happen. And if you are really one who can roll out forensic accounting very good and investigation you can conduct, I think we've got a very big breakthrough and a very big opportunity in the African countries, because finance trail is really a big significant function that these people want to understand and highlight for regulators. Reaching out to local police authorities, just like we have enforcement agencies, they have an enforcement agency themselves. And sometimes it is now a criminal liability also, because the proceeds of say prostitution or abduction or child pornography and all of these, money is being used and dumped in these countries. So that trail is something that everyone needs to find out, and it is impacting them socially, and is costing them heavily. So for any country to develop, they need to plug these loopholes. They need to identify and punish these culprits. So forensic investigation therefore becomes one of the most important frameworks, because as these countries develop, they need a lot of this function as well, and they are expecting Indian chartered accountants. So FAIS is being adopted by most of these countries. Just last week, we were addressing to almost 36, so people from 36 under the WTO. We have taken a great initiative of inviting officers from these 36 countries with the help of Ministry of External Affairs, and we are training them in our Center of Excellence in Hyderabad. We were talking to them about the forensics and all of them in one word said we need to adopt this framework so that we can start working on them. And they need a lot of, so whenever there's a framework which gets implemented, who are the people who can run that framework or use that framework? The ones who know this framework and the ones who understand this framework. And And therefore, to implement this in those countries, it will be the Indian chartered accountants who have to reach out to them. So it's a great opportunity for all of us. Oh, as I said, you need to just raise hand, just as you did for GST, that I know GST and we'll do GST across the country. Although our act, which very few people could understand, because till now it is evolving, and till now it is being said that a lot of things are happening, Utsav is happening, and all of that stuff. So I'm saying, when in forensic accounting, or when an audit and assurance function is coming, and if we don't raise hands, I think there is something really missing from our profession here.
Yeah, thank you so much for your insightful words here, I would say. And that is something which we really need to work upon with the AI also. This thing will, go hand in hand. I mean, both the things have to be taken care. We cannot just restrict ourselves to the remote working or the remote methods which we were doing. So
Absolutely.
thanks a lot. Yeah, thanks a lot for your time, and hope you have a nice journey wherever you are going.
Oh yes, there's an urgent meeting coming up for with one of the regulators only. We're just going to make a representation as a DAB. I have to go there, and I'm just about to reach at 5. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm
Thank you.
sure this committee is doing a great work. Divya, keep doing the good work, and congratulations.
Thank you, sir. And just
Yes,
one more thing, if you are representing on behalf of DAB, just make sure that this forensic accounting also becomes mandatory sometime.
we
So
have to.
that
Yes.
those people who have done this FAFB course, they will also have the opportunity to,
No,
explore it.
the part here, Divya, is people who have done the FFD course do not say it that we've done an FFD course and we are eligible to become a forensic auditors, forensic
But
accountants,
where they
forensic
have to
investigators.
speak, that is the thing. People don't know where they have.
Everywhere, everywhere. You tell me, you have to understand the framework. How does this work? Who handles your financial frauds? Tell me. Simple question. If there is a fraud, if there is a robbery, who comes into the picture?
He has to identify where this thing has happened.
No, police comes into the picture.
Police
How
comes
many
in.
of us have?
That
How
is
many of us have reached out to police? See, understand, Divya. Yeah, as a chartered accountants, we need to understand, if we have to earn good fees, who are the best people to give us the largest amount of fees?
the
The
big
people,
enterprise.
the people who will have the highest treasury.
Right.
Who has the highest treasury
Yes,
in this
government we
country?
have to approach
The
to government.
government. The government is the one who has the highest treasury, and today it is only a select handful of select few firms who have grown up in size and scale are only represented. See, government will not give work to a proprietor. Understand that,
Right.
because they don't know, if they are not able to deliver, where will the government show their face to? And how will they do? What will they do? And therefore, it is empowering that aggregation of CA firms is required. People have to come together. People with skill sets will have to come together, show up their level, show up their might, show up the entire capability that we can deliver at a very large scale as well. I'm sure all of us are blessed with understandings. We are blessed with technology. We are blessed with infrastructure. We are blessed with a good mind, and we can implement and deliver also. But there are situations wherein we need to come together. Our unity is the biggest strength. Until unless we aggregate, until unless we come together, it becomes very difficult for us to get good, meaningful engagements. And therefore, we need to reach out to governments on a frequent basis, tell them that, look, this is what we are able to do. We can deliver this. There are corporates who need forensics, who need validations, who need asset tracing, who need a lot of due diligences on a forensic perspective. See, one due diligence is just expressing an opinion. Again, I'm telling you, I'm not at all talking about. In fact, the world is moving away from just expressing opinions. They want to know whether this is right or not, whether there is a diversion or not, whether there is siphoning of not. XYZ. So therefore, again, I must congratulate Abhijit Chajed, who has, thought of this entire, this ICI Global Week. Sanjeev Singhal ji, who's doing a lot of good work, and Monica Jain, who's ably supporting in, all these initiatives day in, day out. So congratulations, and thank you very much.
We are missing Abhay sir today. Actually, he was supposed to have a deliberation today, but due to his yeah, busy schedule, he is not able to show up here. But thank you so much for your time, Arpit sir. Under your able leadership, we really need, we need to move to the next level. That is what I can say at this
I'll
forum.
invite all of you. I'll invite all of you to please connect on LinkedIn, to all our Instagrams, to all the social media, and please see what all is happening. Because from the past 7 months, let me tell you, every month there has been a massive outreach program. be it MSME, be it the DAB, be it the digital functions, be it newer opportunities. Until unless we are aware, we're unable to grab them. And to be the best way to be aware is ask. Until unless you ask. एक बहुत important line है टाटा स्काई से हमने इंस्पायर होके लिए है। टाटा स्काई ने बताया था कि इसको लगा डाला तो लाइफ झिंगा लाला, और मैंने उसको थोड़ा सा मॉडिफाई किया है, उसको अपने लिए रेलेवेंट बनाया है कि प्रश्न पूछ डाला तो लाइफ झिंगा लाला। तो आप प्लीज पूछिए, आप अपने आप को पूछिए, सीक इन्फॉर्मेशन एंड देयरफॉर आई एम टेलिंग यू विल गेट अ डायरेक्शन।
Very nice thoughts. Just to end the entire session, and I would like to express my vote of thanks to all the audience. I have just come to know that we have around 500 participants for this session.
Amazing.
So thank you so much for joining us at this hour in September. It means a lot. I mean, besides your work and all, you are still hearing this session, and you are really exploring what is there globally. So thank you all the organizers. So this ICAI Global Week is not just about exploring maps. It is about redrawing them with Indian Chartered Accountants, and at the center of the global possibilities. We should all, I think, stick together and stay tuned for next upcoming sessions to know more about the whole world, what all is there. So the opportunities are never ending. It is just we who have to keep ourselves updated and just stay tuned. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you. Yes, we can wind up the session.